to you guys today with my first time tag, and I'm really excited about this because I really don't do tags like this much. I usually just kind of give you guys information or talk about something that I've done. Oh, also, before I get started, I have Ruby Roo on my lips by MAC, if you guys asked, and then also my hair. Today, I really only styled it with aloe vera gel and a little bit of Trader Joe's conditioner and Batical oil, and that's all I have in my hair today, and I diffused it. So I actually really like the results that I got because I was kind of scared because I didn't have anything to use in my hair today. I have barely any Trader Joe's left, and I'm actually traveling right now and I don't have any kind of styling products and I don't have a car, so I couldn't run out and get anything. So out of me trying to be resourceful, I just kind of concocted something, and this is what I got. So yeah, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool and gave me really nice results. So nice and big, like I like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started into this tag. My first word, honestly I don't know what my first word was. I never asked my parents like baby questions like, oh, what was I like when I was 2? Like, I don't ever ask those type of questions. I don't know why, I just don't. My first best friend, okay, automatically is gonna be my sister. Duh, we're twins. We were kind of together in the womb and conceived at the same time. But outside of that, I actually had a few best friends growing up. Because I lived overseas, I'm a military brat, I always had like these brothers and sister like couplets of best friends, me and my sister, because our families would be really close. Because when you're overseas, you kind of make your military family your like real family, because a lot of times you don't get to jump back to the States all the time to kind of see your real family. So I definitely had like multiple families that were like, oh, they're like my cousins, they're like my brothers and sisters, but they weren't blood related, but they're like, might as well be blood related. First pet was my little dog named Layla. I miss her so much. I actually got her my sophomore year of college, which is really late for somebody to have their first pet for most people, because my mom was like, no pets at all. And then she told us this big fat lie for like our whole lives until we moved to the States, because when we lived overseas, we moved a lot, so we couldn't really have a pet. And that's what she said. She was like, okay, well, you guys know we move a lot, so once we move to the States, then we can talk about seriously getting a dog or getting a cat or whatever. And so we were like always like, yeah, whenever we move to the States, we're gonna get a pet. And then we moved to the States and we were like, Mom, like, you know, we can get a pet now. She's like, oh no, we ain't have no animals in this house. And I'm just like, what? My first fear, I don't know, because I honestly am not a person that like can say, oh my gosh, I'm so scared of this, you know. I've never been like that. So I mean, I would say maybe like heights. My first grade teacher was this old guy named Mr. G, and now that I think about it, it's kind of creepy because he was like this old man, this big fat old man that was like a first grade teacher. But he was like super cool. I remember him being just like fun and like, you know, really cool, and let us play games all day and let us draw and paint, which art was always my favorite part of school. The first person I texted today was randomly my Neo in my sorority. I texted her about some Delta business, which is so like me because it's the first thing that comes on my brain, and I'm like, oh, I gotta handle this. I'm still kind of in work mode, even though I'm not even in my chapter anymore. I graduated, but I'm still kind of like, it's still on my brain, you know. It's kind of hard to get out of that mode, but usually it's my boyfriend. My first car was actually a Hyundai Elantra. I have a lot of memories in that car. Before I even got the car, it was my mom's car, and I remember I even stole that car to go see my boyfriend back in the day. My boyfriend that I still have now, back in 07 I think is when I did it. I was gone for like an entire summer. It was like the worst thing ever, but that was when we were like crazy kids and we were doing all types of stupid stuff to see each other and everything. So yeah, definitely have some good memories in that little car. My first cell phone was the little Sprint flip phone that like they started giving them away for free whenever you signed up because they were that like raggedy. But I love that phone. Like, it was my first phone. I remember only having like 50 texts a month, which is crazy because now I'm like, oh my God, like I send 50 texts in a day, you know? But it's so funny to see how much technology has like progressed in like the last, even, I was in 8th grade, what, 6 years ago? About 6 years ago now? Yeah, so just to think from that to, you know, iPhone 5, iPhone 5S, all this kind of stuff, it's crazy. My first date, honestly, I don't remember. I'm assuming it was like going to the movies or something because that's what I always did back in the day. But I assume it was probably the movies. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. My first boyfriend was this little boy named David, this little white boy in 4th grade, and I had a crush on him like all year long. Like all year I wanted to be his girlfriend. And we ended up getting together at like the end of the year, and then we were broken up because the school year ended or something crazy, you know, like something real like so dramatic for a 4th grader, you know. And so I adored that little boy. I don't even know why. But when I say my first real boyfriend was probably in 8th grade, from 8th to like sophomore year-ish, the first part of sophomore year, was this boy named Kendrick, and we're actually still pretty good friends. We were like cool all throughout high school. We still like, you know, we all still talk to the same people and stuff like that. We haven't talked that much lately because, you know, it's been 4 more years of college that we kind of been separate, but he's still one of my homeboys. My first kiss was by this little boy named Todd in 7th grade, and we were at this like little skating rink, and it was in the little arcade room, and there was nobody else in there, and it was like a little peck or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, I just had my first kiss, and you know, that whole thing. My first love, probably have to be this boy named Julian. Way back when, like 7th, 8th grade, I truly cared about that little boy. And it was like crazy because like we lived in Germany at the time, and then I moved to the States and he was still in Germany, so we would like try to like Skype and do webcam. Not even Skype, back then it was a Hotmail Messenger or something, and we used to do that all the time, and it just kind of fell apart. My first video on YouTube was actually, it was like a long time ago. It was probably back in 07, 06 time. And it was me and my sister, and we were like doing the whole like proving that we were real on MySpace thing. If you guys YouTube it, I think it's still on YouTube somewhere, but it's like me and her standing in a room and we're like, this is my real MySpace page, and and this page is fake, and blah blah blah, you know, that whole thing. I think that was my first YouTube video. My first big purchase would have to be my MacBook, because I've never spent more than $1,200 on anything on myself in my life besides school. So, and that's not even paying for it myself. So that's probably the biggest thing I've ever bought, like physically bought myself, was my MacBook. My first job was at Bill Miller Barbecue in Church, Texas, right outside San Antonio. I used to love that job. Well, I hated it and I loved it at the same time because they used to work us like slaves. But I made so much money in those days. Oh Jesus, I was a high schooler making like $9.75 with no bills. What? Every 2 weeks working like 30, 40 hours a week? Yeah, I was banking. And my first time out of the country, well, I was actually born outside of the country and lived outside of the country for 13 years until I was in 8th grade. So I'll flip it. First time I came to the United States was when I was like 3 or 4, and that was only on a trip to kind of see family and stuff like that. But the first time I actually lived in the country was in 8th grade when I was 13, and that's when I moved to Texas. And I've only lived actually in Texas the time that I've actually been living in the States. So I was born in Germany, but I lived in Italy, Guam, Turkey, and then Germany was like the last stop that we made before we actually came back to the States. So like I said, I was a military brat, so I got to move around a lot, go see a lot of cool places at a really young age. So a lot of my upbringing is kind of different than a lot of people's because I was overseas. And so as far as being out of the country, spent a lot of time out of the country. Now I love Texas. I love Texas. That's what I consider my home, my home state. So yeah, but that is all for my first time tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want to see more tags like this where you kind of get to know me a little bit more. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.